You're a few different shades of gray, which reminds me of this movie. And thinking about this movie makes me feel violent, but it's okay, I still love you.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Brockopp side. Today we got ourselves a movie review of 50 Shades Darker, directed by James Foley. So at the beginning of this movie, Anastasia Steele and Christian Grey, played by Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan, have been separated for like 12 and a half seconds, 5 minutes, something like that. And he tries to get her back, and she says no, like once, and then he's like, please? And she's like, no. And then he's like, please? And it's like, alright, fine, damn it. So Christian Grey tries to do things differently. We get a couple of boring-ass sex scenes. This girl from Christian Grey's past shows up. Kim Basinger is there as for some godforsaken reason, and then it ends on another goddamn cliffhanger, and 50 Shades Freed coming to theaters February 9th, 2018. So after the cinematic masterpiece that was 50 Shades of Grey, there was just all kinds of anticipation for 50 Shades Darker. So how does the sequel to the greatest book adaptation of all time hold up? Well, for starters, the movie opens immediately with a flashback of Christian Grey's childhood for like 2 seconds, and then it just cuts to adult Christian Grey in the bed just going, no. And then the titles show up. Kinda makes you wonder why they even bothered with that. Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan, they're back, and once again, they're trying, but once again, bad script, bad performances, bad movie. It's simple math, really. And they get back together within the first 12 minutes of the movie. Yeah, I kept track. So it kind of makes you wonder why they even bothered with that, but whatever. Kim Basinger plays Mrs. Robinson, the woman that Christian Grey was a submissive for many years of his life. She tries to make Anastasia stay away from Christian, that he's not changed, he's never going to be the same, he's never going to satisfy her. She's trying to be all manipulative and a complete wrinkly bitch. And to be perfectly honest with you, I haven't trusted Kim Basinger since she lied to Batman about her weight. And in this movie, Anastasia has a new boss called Jack Hyde.
Wow, he yelled, James. You are the master in names, aren't you?
Like, and that character basically causes a somewhat love triangle within the movie because you can tell that he's attracted to Anastasia, and he even gets drunk and comes on to her, and the scene where that takes place just plays out like a sexual harassment training video that you have to watch when you get a new job. So, kids, treat women well. And don't make them characters in your terrible Twilight fanfiction turned bestseller. So you can tell this movie was trying to take a different direction this time around because it's kind of trying to be more of a light-hearted romantic comedy of sorts, which at least it's not trying to be completely dramatic, but then it tries to be dramatic with these terrible new characters, and it just completely falls apart. Yet again. One thing I noticed about this movie compared to the first one is that while this is a new director behind the chair this time, in the first movie the production design was kind of sterile and solid colored, but here there's more texture to it, things are a little bit more realistic looking, so it's kind of a nice thing they're trying to mix it up a little bit, but I also felt like the movie just was not quite as well shot as the last one. You know, it's like, for a movie like this, I want to look for some good cinematography and some nice production design, and while we got some okay production design, the cinematography, I was just like, okay, whatever, just get to the boobs and stuff. So we've gone this long without talking about the sex scenes, so let's talk about them. They are boring as shit. I mean, I kept track of all the sex scenes in this movie and gave brief notes about all of them, so let's see here. Sex scene 1, boring, nothing interesting there. Sex scene 2, boring as well. Sex scene 3 gets better because it's got butt stuff, so, you know, that's a step up. And then sex scene 4 is in the shower, that's a nice step up. And then finally, it's sex scene 5, which is basically a continuation of the shower scene. We finally get some kinky stuff. When the movie's only got 16 minutes left of the runtime! I'm not quite sure what they were trying to accomplish by toning down the kinkiness of the sex scenes in this movie, but that's what people come to these movies for. It's what I come for. Pretend I didn't say that. If you come into a movie from the 50 Shades of Grey franchise, you want to see some bondage, you want to see some whips, you want to see some straps, you want to see some forced tension which leads to everything getting all dramatic for no goddamn reason. So once again in this movie we have more forced tension that just tries to get the story progressing into this direction that it wasn't naturally going, just to make things more dramatic and serious, to make the audience go, "Oh no, what's going to happen next?" There are just all kinds of sub-stories and plot points that just really don't amount to anything. Like I mentioned earlier, there's this girl from Christian Grey's past who used to be his submissive who shows up, and she's basically just like, "You can't trust him. I got bags under my eyes, so you know I mean it." Why not have her be like the main antagonist of the movie, have him kidnap Christian Grey or Anastasia and do twisted things with her? I mean, come on, make her amount to something. And there's this whole thing towards the end of the movie where Christian Grey gets in a helicopter crash, and everyone's like, "Oh no, what's gonna happen to Christian Grey? Oh no, where is he?" And then 2 seconds later, he comes back to the apartment and be like, "Alright, it's alright, I'm fine, no big deal."
Wow. Almost makes you wonder what the point of that scene was.
But I do gotta give him credit for not ending the movie on that cliffhanger like most second movies in a trilogy go, where the character goes missing and then they spend the first 30 minutes of the third movie trying to find him, so I give him credit for doing that, but at the same time,
why do it at all?
So this is a spoiler warning for the end of the movie, but you know what, if you've seen this movie and you plan to see the third one, if you've seen the trailers for the third one, then you know what I'm talking about, alright? So just get over yourself. Christian Grey proposes to Anastasia, they're getting married, and oh no, what's that? The boss character is out in the distance watching the party. Dun dun dun. To be concluded. Christian Grey's alive. He's in the Old West, but he's alive. Okay, I'm sorry. I did not mean to drag Back to the Future 2 in this. I'm so sorry. So basically, I've been sitting here talking complete crap about 50 Shades Darker, which probably makes you think I hate this one even more than the first one. But to be perfectly honest, I dislike this one less than the first one. This one I find that I can sit through a lot easier, because it's kind of more, it's more lighthearted than the last one, and I think for me these movies are kind of becoming guilty pleasures almost, just kind of, I want to sit down, watch a bad movie, pop in 50 Shades of Grey, my needs are fulfilled. So all in all, 50 Shades Darker is a very slight improvement over the first one, with a bunch of useless subplots and characters. But there's more butt stuff, so you can't go wrong with the butt stuff. So, those are my thoughts on 50 Shades Darker. If you've seen the movie or you read the book, or both, if you've done both, go seek medical help. But anyway, if you guys have seen the movie, notice that down below, and we'll see you on the Brockopp side.